There are over 190 countries in the world, or so you thought. Today we're showing you 10 places that claim to be countries. But most people have never heard of them. Some are legit governments, others, kind of insane. They've got governments, flags, currencies, even armies in some cases. But the catch? Most of the world doesn't recognize them. Get ready for war-torn regions, desert kingdoms, and floating nations. Let's get into it. Sealand, this one's wild. Meet Sealand, a self-declared country off the coast of England. And I mean literally off the coast. It's a metal platform in the middle of the ocean, originally built by the British military during World War II. In 1967, a guy named Paddy Roy Bates took it over and said, "Hey, this is my country now." He crowned himself Prince Roy, started handing out passports, and even fought off invaders in a mini-battle at sea. It's not recognized by any official government, but it's still out there, with its own royal family and everything. Molossia. From international waters to the Nevada desert, next up is the Republic of Molossia. This one's in the US, but don't tell them that. Kevin Baugh, a former military man, started his own nation right on his property. He's the president, and he'll give you a full guided tour. He's got a national anthem, currency that's backed by cookie dough, and a fake war with East Germany. Yeah, it's hilarious, but also kind of brilliant. Think of it as a living political parody with its own fully functioning website and fan base. Transnistria. Now let's get serious. Transnistria is a breakaway state between Moldova and Ukraine. It declared independence in 1990 after the fall of the Soviet Union and even fought a war to stay separate. Today it operates with its own government, police, military, and currency. You'll still see statues of Lenin on the streets, and while it's not recognized by the US or the UN, Russia supports it. Think of it as a real-life Soviet time capsule that runs like a country, but technically isn't. Hutt River. In Australia, a wheat farmer got fed up with government quotas in the 70s and decided, you know what? I'm starting my own country. And he did. The Principality of Hutt River operated for 50 years. Leonard Castley, aka Prince Leonard, ran the place like a royal kingdom, issued passports, collected taxes, even had embassies. It was technically illegal, but mostly tolerated. It shut down in 2020, but for decades it was one of the most successful micronations in the world. Somaliland. Unlike most of these micronations, Somaliland is legit, at least in function. It declared independence from Somalia in 1991, and since then has built up a stable government, a functioning economy, schools, even democratic elections. It's one of the safest places in the Horn of Africa. But here's the kicker. No country officially recognizes it. Not the US, not the UN, no one. Still, they've been running their own show for over 30 years. Liberland. Ever wanted to start your own country? That's what Vít Jedlička did in 2015. He found a small bit of unclaimed land between Croatia and Serbia and declared it the Free Republic of Liberland. It's based on minimal government, low taxes, and maximum freedom. Sounds like a libertarian dream, right? Well, here's the issue. No one can really live there. Croatian authorities block access, and no one's moved in permanently. But online? Liberland has passports, citizens, and a digital community that believes it's the future. Northern Cyprus. Northern Cyprus split off from the rest of Cyprus in 1983. It has its own president, laws, army, and universities. But here's the thing. It's only recognized by Turkey. Everyone else, including the US, still considers it part of Cyprus. The UN has a buffer zone between the two sides. If you go, you'll have to cross a checkpoint and show ID. It's peaceful now, but the politics are super complicated. Christiania, right in the middle of Copenhagen, Denmark, there's a neighborhood called Freetown Christiania. It's kind of a city within a city. Back in the 70s, squatters and artists moved into old military barracks and declared the area autonomous. No cars allowed, cannabis is tolerated, and the vibe is all about freedom and creativity. The Danish government technically owns the land, but they mostly leave Christiania alone. It's not a country, but it's not exactly Denmark either. South Ossetia. South Ossetia broke away from Georgia after a brutal war in the 1990s and was at the center of another war in 2008 when Russia stepped in. It now runs its own government, but only a handful of countries recognize it. Russia, Syria, North Korea. Not exactly a global consensus. For everyone else, it's still part of Georgia. Visiting without clearance? Not a great idea. Lakotah, and finally back to the U.S. In 2007, leaders from the Lakotah Sioux Nation declared their independence from the U.S. government. They called it the Republic of Lakotah and claimed territory across 5 states: South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, and Montana. Their case? The U.S. broke multiple treaties over hundreds of years. They don't recognize U.S. laws and want to govern their land based on native sovereignty. It's not officially acknowledged, but it's part of a bigger fight for indigenous rights and recognition. So, what even is a country? Turns out it's more complicated than just having land and a flag. These places prove that recognition, politics, and history all play a role. Some are funny, some are serious, but they all exist in that strange gray zone between real and imaginary. If you found this as mind-blowing as we did, smash that like button, subscribe for more strange stories from around the world, and tell us in the comments, if you could live in one of these, which would it be? See you in the next one.